fits your level of experience. We'll spend the time and talk about maybe some local landmarks where the good swimming hole is. And I think that makes a big difference for a lot of folks, is that we're going to give them the best experience possible, and also they're going to be safe. You know, you don't want to send Nana up on top of Burke Mountain down a downhill trail. So, I mean, it's also a good way for us to do some risk management with a lot of people coming in. I mean, right, we give someone the real difficult route, and you see them with a Huffy heading down the road. Oops, I guess we'll have to ask them what kind of bikes they ride too. But it works well for us. This is our center where we pretty much do this for anyone that's new that comes in, is off from a route. We also do education in two different ways. We have bike ambassadors and bike patrollers. Bike patrollers are guys that are ski patrollers in the winter, and they work for us in the summer. And up till last year, we had no incidents, and we hired bike patrollers, and we had 8 incidents. So we had 2 doctors hit by lightning. That was a good one. But they're out there, and I think it makes people feel safe. But also, they're out there on the trail giving route descriptions, and they're checking our tickets, see if people have bought the day membership passes. But it's just a nice bonus, and it's also a good way for us to make sure the trails are kept up. And just like here, we have a very small system, so I think people are always amazed at the level of maintenance. But if we know it's a blowdown, a tree, these guys will find it, we can get right to it and take care of it before someone gets hurt, or it actually wrecks the trail by people riding around it all day. And these kids like the job, too. In the wintertime, we run the Nordic Trail system. This started soon after I came along. It was basically, we do have an obligation to our 3 largest landowners. They, 2 of them have inns and one's a ski area. There was a vacuum there with this Nordic Center, so we took it over. It's a completely different operation. I mean, where the mountain biking brings in a lot of resources, we're developing the Nordic Trail system to try to bring in resources, but the difference is there's really no place like us for mountain biking, and there's 28 Nordic centers in Vermont. So we realized that it's a local, so we're really focusing on the locals. And last year we started this Bill Coakley Youth Development Program, and we had 65 kids show up. And so we see that that the Nordic skiing is growing, we see more people are into it. I mean, it does take a lot of resources to do it, but we're finding that we've become a bigger part of the community that way. And it does bring people in. And this year we actually made our membership a year-round membership. We didn't differentiate between the seasons. And so we're hoping that a lot of our members from all around will now start coming to Burke in the winter using the ski mountain or our Nordic trails as well. So we'll see how that goes. And here's our membership right now. One thing is we're on private land, so we keep our fees low. We could charge a lot more. I mean, even for a Nordic Center, $75 a year is the cheapest in New England. And we're $75 for mountain biking and Nordic for an individual. I mean, there's a lot of reasons is that we have enough people now where we're getting the resources in to maintain and manage it. But yet, we want to make sure that we're still a cheap outing in this recession that we're in. So if people are going to come, we don't want to be their main cost. We want them to spend the money in the restaurants, at the lodging. So it's worked out well for us, and we find that being this way too, we find that people are so much more receptive to give to us, which is great. And I see these guys saying to get involved, and my tagline is, get involved. Either give us your time or give us your money so we can spend time doing what you need to get done. And that's what people need to do to make this happen. The economic impact, I think that's what I'm here for. So, we just finished our season. It was our best season. Every year we have a better and better, more people are showing up. We figure that we know how many day passes we sell. We just don't know how many times our members come. So we've done like 3 surveys in the last 6 years, and the best average we came up with is that our membership rides 12 days a year. Some guys go 1 day, but then we have guys that ride every day. So using that basis, we have about 49,000 user visits this summer. And the best, with a lot of out there, how much money we've done to try to do some economic impact studies as well. It doesn't work out so well. Some guy says it's the most expensive inn. He says he bought breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And, oh yeah, he bought a tire. And then we asked him, how much money did he spend for the weekend? Less than $100. And he's like, well, how did you do that? So we got to redo that study. But the best thing figure we got to do is $100 a day. We think is a very conservative, low-ball figure of what a biker spends in our area on a day visit. So with that in mind, that's $4.9 million that has come into our area. I mean, the bikers come, and we were talking about this today too. A big impression is that when I showed up, bikers were 20 years old. They came in and bought their apple and their water. They got in their Saab, which cost less than the bike on their car, and drove away. Right? Not so much. These folks are coming from Boston and, for us, Montreal. I say that we're about 49%. I want to admit more. We're 49% Canadian visitation at our place. And we're 3 hours from Montreal, 2.5 hours from Montreal, 3.5 hours from Quebec. We got Sherbrooke. We got some bigger cities there. And they're a biking culture. Any Canadians in the group here? All right, they're the Japanese in North America. Okay? They travel in groups and packs. They dress alike. And they love biking. And they're a biking culture. So they're a great crowd for us to have. Another way that we do too is we notice that once we list someone's vacation rental or even their hotel or motel, their lodging obviously just goes right up the roof. They're loving it. So now our website, the sponsorship, they even just put an ad on our website or just a listing is paying for our website. So that's been a real bonus for us. So we're trying to keep all the sustainable things, the map and the website being paid by our locals. Benefits them. This is a fine example. I'll be showing some demographics later of how people come, but what we're seeing now are people are actually creating businesses just around the bikers. A local saw that a lot of these people come, they come in large groups, so he didn't want to create a hostel, but he refixed this old barn up. He was in there, he booked all summer long. It was right near the village, just created a nice little lodging, and we're seeing more and more of this, that people are just creating businesses. We have a shuttle guy in town now, an ice cream shop opened up. I mean, it's starting to, our little town doesn't have very much. There's only about 8 buildings, but more and more are becoming shops and businesses around the mountain biking. And like I said, now we're in expectations. So. A new venture we got into, I mentioned earlier, is last year we decided to get into the downhill mountain bike scene, and we partnered with Berg Mountain, which is a ski resort. We invested a lot of money with the faith that we know is work. If we build it right, they will come. They were a little more skeptical, but now you see this is a 15-minute lift line now on weekends. And so they're not skeptical anymore. This is going to work. It's a whole new venture. I mean, a lot more resources, but it is, to stay relevant, we need to go there. This is the next step in mountain biking. There's a whole younger crowd who wants this, and now I hate to say we're converting cross-country riders. Once they do this, next thing you know, they're buying the big bike and getting the full-face helmet and the pads and the neck collars, and whoever does this just becomes fanatical. But we know we need to do this to bring people here. Here's the demographics. Average age. And we did a study, 1,700 people. The college did this study for us. Average age just over 38. 65% male. I think we have one of the larger percentage of women riders around because our trails, they really are not technical, our cross-country trails. They're like blade skiing on a bike. So your speed does make it technical. So you can bring out someone who doesn't ride very much, and they can actually have a great time out there, and they're not going to feel unsafe. And also, since our trails are always kind of never far from town, we see a lot of women just come out by themselves now. You're not going out into the wilderness. You're never far from an inn or a hotel or a farm, really, once you ride there enough. So we see a lot of people going out, and they feel safe and comfortable on the trails, and our patrollers are out there.